Hello. This little mini video is going to cover just a couple of examples of implicit differentiation using the earlier worksheet that I already provided. However, after this, I'm going to provide another so that you have some fresh work to really mull over.
All right, let's take a look at a little bit, or a harder one or two. In particular, let's do number 7 and number 9. So, looking at number 7, the equation is 3x squared y squared equals 4x squared minus 4xy. So, first thing that's super important to note is that we are doing some multiplying in here. Whenever we're multiplying, that means we have to use the product rule. So, I'm going to pair our coefficients. In fact, let's make our life even easier and have that be a plus -4. With the first term, you can pair them with either one, but you might as well do the first term just because it's already there. Because we're going to have to use the product rule every single time we are multiplying any variables together. So, let's see. Taking the derivative of this. First of all, I'm going to do, I guess, the derivative of 3x squared, which is 6x. Since I just took the derivative of x, I'm not going to put the dx in there. And then y squared is by itself. Plus, then I leave the 3x squared alone. And then the derivative of y squared is 2y dy dx. So that is our entire left side. That becomes this. This is going to become kind of messy. I'm just going to let you know now. I don't expect the answer at the end to be very pretty, but that's okay. That's real life. So then 4x squared becomes 8x plus, then here we go. Let's see. First I'll leave the -4x alone and multiply it times the derivative of y, which is 1 dy dx. Plus, now the derivative of the first piece, which is -4, and times y. There we go. So before I move things around, let's make things look neater. We've got over here up to the left, how about 6xy squared plus 6x squared y dy dx. So there's my left side. Then on the right, I'm going to do 8x minus 4y minus 4x dy dx. There. So now how about we move all of the dy dx terms over to the left and all of the other terms over to the right. So this one is going to be added to both sides, 4x dy dx. And then this is going to be subtracted from both sides. Bam, bam. So that will give us, let's see, 6x squared y dy dx plus 4x dy dx equals 8x minus 4y minus 6xy squared. Okay, great. Now, first thing I noticed that you figured out perfectly was that when you have two dy dx's like that, the way that you solve for it is just use the distributive property to pull them out. I usually like calling that the backwards distributive property just for fun. Equals all of that. Then, no changes is there. Then we can divide both sides by that. Both sides is great. And we're going to get 8x minus 4y minus 6x squared all over, actually, 6x squared y plus 4x. Then I also noticed that we've got multiples of 2 everywhere, so I'd say the only simplifying that looks easy to be done here is 4x minus 2y minus 3xy squared all over 3x squared y plus 2x. And let me double check real quick by looking at the answer key to see if I got it right. This was number 7. Perfect. Great. So that is how you do number 7. Now let's look at number 9. So number 9, again, gonna be a little messy. It's okay. We'll make it through. Squared. Okay, so we have 2x cubed equals quantity 3xy plus 1 squared. So now do you remember when you've got one function inside of another function, when they're composed like that, we have to use the chain rule? That's what we've got to do here. So let's take the derivative of this. Here we go. That will become 6x squared there we go equals then here we've got to do the chain rule. Also, since we are keeping these together, we've got a product rule nested within a chain rule, so we've got a lot going on here. Let's pair the 3 with the x when we get there. But first of all, we take the derivative of the outside with leaving the inside the same. So we bring the 2 down in front, leave the inside the same, and then we subtract 1, so we put a 1 right there, but it's redundant, or it's not redundant, but it's unnecessary. So then we are going to have sort of a larger product rule that we have to do. This is where things get, again, a little messy. So the derivative of this inside, the plus 1 goes away, but we do have to do the 3xy. So let's see, that will first be, the derivative of 3x is just 3, and then leave y alone, plus, now leave 3x alone, and the derivative of y is just 1, so that would be dy dx. I only did brackets just in case I was going to have some parentheses in there as well, but it ended up being a little nicer than I feared, so that's great. Now, let's do this. Let's divide both sides by this 2 times 3xy plus 1 to get that over to the other side. So that will give us 6x squared over 2 times 3xy plus 1. I'll decide later if I want to distribute that in or not. I might. We'll see. Equals 3y plus 3x times dy dx. Now we've got to first subtract and then divide. So when we subtract it, that's going to be 6x squared over 2 3xy plus 1 minus 3y equals 3x dy dx. And then all of that mess divided by, so let's see, 6x squared over 2 3xy plus 1 minus 3y all over 3x. So there's the answer, technically. However, I guarantee you no answer in any sort of textbook or worksheet or test is going to want anything like that. So let's take a second to make this look nice and neater, something like this. So let's see, that's the same as that over 1. We can multiply this times itself to go right there. So follow me carefully to make sure that I'm doing this right. So we've got dy dx equals, I'm just collecting everything right now. I think it's going to be 6x squared minus 3y times 2, and I've decided I am multiplying this 2 into that. So 6xy plus 2 all over 6xy plus 2 all over 3x all over 1. Nice little tornado shape there. Let me double check that real quick. Minus 3x times 3y times... Yep, I think we're good. Then, to make this one last step, our numerator is just going to be 6x squared minus 18xy squared minus 6y all over then our denominator is going to be 18x squared y plus 6x. Again, we can divide each of these things by 6, so that's going to be x squared minus 3xy squared minus y, all over 3x squared y plus x. And that, again, let me double check the answer key to see if I got it right. This is number 9. X squared negative y negative 3x. Perfect. Great. So they have theirs in a slightly different order, but regardless, that's fine. So again, these are complicated problems, but you've got to figure out every single step like this. Archie, you're fine. Your life is fine. To make sure that you are able to slog through these, because these can be kind of a bear. So use the same tips to try the next worksheet that I am providing, and have fun.